My question for you guys this week is, are you religious? Are you spiritual? Do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in nothing at all? Do you believe in science? What is it that you believe in? And has your opinion on that changed in your life from when you were younger to now? And what was that? Drop a comment down below. Hit that subscribe and that like button. We're going to get into some things. And child, the conspiracy theories are coming to life, y'all. But we're going to get into it. What up, y'all? Welcome back to this weekly review here on Next Mood Swing. How are you guys doing? Drop a hey in the comments. If you're in the chat room, we're going to get into some stuff, some Housewives, some congratulations, some condolences. But first, let me bring Miss Courtney Stewart into the building. What up, Bo?
What up? Hello, hello.
Hey.
Howdy do.
Black girl magic.
How
All
goes
right.
it?
You know what? This was actually
Wow.
like a productive week for me. Not a well, I guess productive, but it was good, client wise. I was like, all
Love
right,
that. Love
yeah,
Love
and
that.
it didn't mess me up. Although my family got COVID, and then I had to watch the kids and like balancing work and kids.
Oh no,
I'm
not
like, they are not mine, but it's all right. I love them.
no.
But
Are they? Is
condolences. You said what?
everybody good?
Everyone's good, but like, my mom be the one that should be acting like it's not a thing, and it's like, girls, you gonna stay in your room because
Yes.
we don't need you to be breathing. Like, take the vacation, Just think of it as God. You know what I mean? Saying, take a vacation, girl. That's it. But condolences to the families who lost someone in the shooting in Monterey Park this past weekend, from the psycho man running amok and shooting up Asian people. Like, what? I mean,
It's just and Half Moon Bay as well. Northern California had it literally the next day. A mess.
a mess. But positive notes. Let's congratulate Lady Gaga, Rihanna, Tems for receiving Oscar nominations. That would be so dope if Rihanna got an Oscar nomination and performed in the Super Bowl in the same year. Shout out to that.
Yeah. And
Northwest is going to be on Paw Patrol. So Kim Kardashian has officially just said, you know what? Look, we can truly say that the Kardashians will now be carried on through their children. And here's their first step into the real Hollywood light. They had the paparazzi life, but now North is going to get a paycheck. All right, go ahead, North.
yeah, the factory continues.
And then I really was just, we said New Year. We don't want to talk about her. We don't want to bring it up, but y'all, you did not call the police on Britney Spears. Like,
Yes, it. Oh, child. What?
I'm just like,
Leave that girl alone. Leave her alone.
Like, at this point, right? Because you don't know. No one knows anything, right?
Nothing.
We don't know anything. So
Nothing.
the only thing you really can assume is what is being told to you. I mean, you guys are analyzing this girl's face down to wrinkles, spaces between her teeth. Like, could you imagine? You wonder why she deletes her social media. And then you fucking call the police on this woman who has been traumatized her entire life. And not only that, but her brain is fried from being on lithium for so long. And you have the police show up at her fucking door. Like, the audacity that you felt that you had the power to do that. That's crazy to me. That is like, and I really hope you look at yourselves, like, whoever did that, like, insane.
And like, what did they say to the police? Like, hey, she deleted her Instagram, like we're worried. Like, because
Uh, I don't know, because I do go back in the devil's advocate, right? At the same time, because like let you do that to because I know people do that. My brother tells me about it all the time. Like if you're a gamer, like really big YouTubers and gamers, like they get trolls who will call SWAT teams on them. I guess that Andrew Tate guy,
yeah,
they did that to him one time. Not this Russian thing, but a different time. So I mean, I get it happens, and like you do it to like a regular person. That is fucking horrible. Like that, like you don't know how that could affect somebody's life, and you just think that's funny. But then you guys think you're doing what? And my thing is like at the same time, it's like, you know, what can Britney do? Like, what could she literally do? Like, just go on Instagram and be like, hey guys, like, you guys have now made me have to confess, like, I'm fucked up and I just don't know what to do right now. And, like, I guess now I have to tell that to the world. And whether I want to off myself or now whatever.
it's actually sad.
It's sad and
Like,
no empathy. Like,
'cause
crazy.
she can't win either way.
No. Nope. Courtney is still there.
I'm still there. You went away.
All right, I hear you. All right, you know, this cold on the East
Still
Coast.
here.
Let's move on into the next. Enough with the Britney, but guys, leave her the fuck alone. Like, let's just stop. Like, guys, we just gotta let it go. Like, if your conspiracy theory is she was died in 2006, then she died, and what we're seeing is a clone. Let it be that. Let it be that in your head. There's nothing you can do. Use this time. If you want to research something, how about you research like this? Simply orange juice. I love Simply orange juice. Now I'm like scared I'm going to die because I think I specifically select Simply orange because one, it looks healthier. Just the bottle, it's sexy, the little like the way it's Simply orange. Like, and then the fruit juice one, oh, don't get me started. Like, and I think I'm doing something. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, and y'all got all these chemicals in here that cause, and it's interesting what it causes. It's like always about the reproductive system, which is also crazy. But this is a Coca-Cola product, and now I'm just questioning all of your products. Like, because first of all, Dasani water is questionable.
It's been questionable, and yeah, you should question all of their products and PepsiCo and whoever else exists.
Yeah, and honestly, like whatever they did to Minute Maid, I don't know what you guys did to that, but you did something.
They don't mean good for us, and I just don't understand why. Like, why do you want to kill us? We're your customers. You should want us to be around and enjoying your products, but you are trying to literally kill all of us.
Well, I think again, you know, we talked about Megan and these robots and all this stuff. So I'm watching this movie the other day. It was on Peacock because I don't know why I've been on a Peacock kick. And it was called Anna, and it came out in like 2020 or 21. Don't know why I even selected this, but the beginning of it, it's this guy, and he puts these AirPod kind of things in the girl's ear, and she can like read people very well. Like if you come into the room, she can just read your energy, like, and kind of tell you what you're feeling or whatever. So they put these earpod things in, and obviously I'm like, okay, this is futuristic, like, okay. And he says what it will do is it plays in a high pitch frequency that you can't hear, but it opens up your receptors in your brain. And I was just like, I'm like watching this with my AirPods in my ears, and I'm like, okay, what? Like, let me take my AirPods out and just watch the movie. Yeah. And then a few days later, I see a TikTok, and it's that they're creating these freaking AirPods that get to know you so well. After a month, it'll be able to tell you what you pay attention to. It'll tell you when you these AirPods, and then also Apple is working apparently on a VR headset, and it is a VR mobile desktop. Basically, your entire computer is in this thing, and you can virtually access everything. It pops up in midair, like, it's wild. but it knows when you're not paying. It's trying to track what you pay attention to, how long you're paying attention to it. Even if you're not looking at something but thinking about it, it's trying to like cancel out. It's basically trying to get to know you better than you know yourself, like on an analytical level. And that freaks me out. And I understand the power in using it as a tool, but then I'm watching like all this chat GPT talk, and like I've used that stuff, chat GPT. I want to use Midjourney. But then when they talk about, you know, how excited we are to, you know, start programming to the point to where now they're questioning if the higher evolutions of these things are going to be able to learn themselves. Like, that's freaking weird. And like, it just brings me to this conversation of like, are we that bored of life that like we want to move to this world of like everything's sterile and like, yeah, we don't even want to be on fucking Earth. I'm going to be floating in the fucking sky and the stars and be in a fucking tube just floating. Like, fuck Earth, fuck water, fuck trees. Like, what's going on? Like, we've lost it, and I'm wondering if that's what millennials are, our purpose is right now, to like bring everyone the fuck back to reality, because it's getting out of control. And I know I probably sound like an old grandma, like, oh my god, like the end of the world, but like, why do we have a doomsday clock? Did you know we have a doomsday clock? Did you know that's a real thing, that there's a legit doomsday clock? And it's like a metaphor, but like, what? And they just moved, they moved it. We're like 90 seconds away from doomsday or something like that because of the Ukraine. I'm like, girl, or whatever. I don't remember what it said, but I'm pretty sure it was 90 seconds. They said
about to be over right now,
girl.
oh,
and
Lord.
I'm like, okay,
over.
if it has to do with the war in Ukraine, why would we post this? Like, that's almost like mocking the situation. Like, do we want to get blown up? Like, why are we always like, to me, this is a fear tactic. Who's behind it? Who fucking knows? Hey, the people fucking research SUV over here looking up for Britney Spears. Why don't you research this stuff? Why don't we like use all that amazing power? Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I got homegirls, like I'd be like, who's this? And they do all their research. That's incredible. It's amazing because you take the time to do it. But can we do it towards something that's gonna like move us? Figure out what the like. Please Google the doomsday thing because it's wild. It's weird. It's weird. It's just, there were like 6 people that were a part of this. None of them said anything. They just stood next to this clock and then they like pushed it. And it was like this big thing. I'm like, what?
I mean, some people think they can calculate the end of the world. It's just, and you know, it's one of those things like, is it negative or is it just human existence? Like, empires fall, wars happen. Like, that's just the cycle of the world with humans. So we're just in another cycle, and it happens to be that perhaps androids are going to be what are our demise instead of like the meteor or comet that killed the dinosaurs. Like, we're just gonna be, that's what it is. I'm not mad. It's fascinating. It's a different way because in the end we technically are evolving in a more advanced way, so to speak, because in order to create these things, our brains are being used and utilized in a way that they have not so far in the history of man. So we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, sort of.
Okay. All right.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe.
Look, I get it to a point. I do think we are, you know, obviously there's so many amazing things that we have created and are creating, and there are so I do believe like the genuine human being is good. The base of human beings are good, but I just think that the people.
Oh, now that's an interesting thought.
I do. I think as a whole, a human being is good. I believe that there are obviously horrible people and very negative people, and I think that through time those people care so much about power, their ego, their pride. Like, I look at like my parents, like that stuff genuinely doesn't matter to them, to the point where it like is frustrating for me. It's like, girl, do something. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, they just like, it's just like everything about that is, they have no interest in it. You know what I mean? They want to make money for their family. They want to support their family. They want to be around their family. Everything else is like, my mother could care less about, designer stuff, all that stuff. But I think that there are people, who understand that there are people like that. And it's like, well, fuck you. I'm going to, do this. And there are ways to, you look at like marketers, like there's a scam within marketing at some point. You're tricking. Look at like Coca-Cola, Simply Orange. Clearly fucking not. You're poisoning people. Like, we're not concerned that Coca-Cola is poisoning people, let alone what soda does to the human body, that we've just normalized it. But now orange juice. So like, how does that, these things, and that's just an orange juice. Like, again, now television programming, it's like, and that goes into the next topic. Like, I just have a question, you guys. Like, are you, for me, I grew up very religious. My parents are super religious, and I just always had a guilty shame because I was gay. Everything else I didn't care, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm not gonna have sex till I'm married. I'm gonna show everyone that I'm not gonna be, you know what I mean, the gay boy that they think I am, with drugs and parties. Well, but as I got older, I found my own relationship with God. And I don't know, you guys, like recently this year, it's just been coming heavier to me. And I really believe it's because of the imagery that I'm seeing in the world. And it's low-key got me shook. Because I question the Bible. I've questioned, what my parents, taught me, or, family members have thought about, priests have said. I've questioned it all. And then you start seeing stuff, you start hearing Kanye West, and he did the thing, and everyone's anti-Semitic, and oh my God, but it's like, okay, but he was basically trying to explain to us what was happening in the music industry, and it just so happened that these people who were in power happen to be Jewish, and they control the music industry. And then if you look at a lot of these pop artists in the music industry, a lot of the symbolism that they use is blasphemous. And it's just kind of weird. It's just weird and strange to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But it's just like, why does almost every pop artist use Christianity in a way that is tainted or dark? Or why do so many pop stars use satanic imagery? And why is that okay? Why are we not concerned about that? I don't know. It's a thing I'm seeing. I'm starting to question it. I don't really know who else to talk to about it, so I'm bringing it here. I mean, do you see it? I mean, Chloe has a song dropping tonight called Pray For Me. And she says the N-word like a million times in it. Like, that's literally the chorus. And then I'm thinking her first song was called Lord Have Mercy. Now it's Pray For Me. And then we got, Lil Nas Dancing with the Devil. Young Miami last week this ain't religious, but she's talking about she likes getting peed on. Like, girl, what? And then Madonna's out here. You know what I mean? Like, let Madonna, like, let Cardi B strip on a fucking menorah. Let Madonna use a fucking dreidel as a Kegel exercise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, would people be upset? Or would it be art? I don't know. Like, am I crazy? Do you see what I'm saying? Is it like, am I crazy? Have I lost it?
I don't think you're crazy, but I don't think that this is conceptually new. I think that history of music in America, I would say, because Christianity on some level was sort of the initial dominant faith of the United States. That's not saying that there obviously are many faiths that came through the United States, whatever. But in terms of sort of the inception of the country, Puritanism and all of that, like, is sort of very powerfully a part of the foundations of our country and our culture. So I would say it's not strange that secular artists would be in some way always coming after that to a certain degree, because that is so central to so much of who we are. Not who everybody is, y'all. I understand there are Muslims, there are Jews, there are Hindus, there's lots of different people. but I'm speaking in broad, slightly general terms. And I would say that, I mean, this idea of the devil and music and sort of being a part of that is probably an intensely part of our history as humans. And I mean, and in this country, like that was talked about and complained about during the puritanical times, and when the church hymns or whatever they called them in the white churches, and then the black churches were singing them differently, like they were saying that black gospel music was possessed in ways that it shouldn't be, and that's why there were divisions of churches and denominations. And when blues music became a big thing, that it was like words about people that made deals with the devil in the South, and that's why
Right,
this
like I
music
think of
is doing
the
that. So
devil
like,
went down to Georgia. I'm like, I remember that song growing up.
yeah,
Like, ooh,
100%. So I feel like this concept of Christianity and the devil and satanicness of it all has always sort of been wrapped in our cultural
like Western
art.
culture,
I think it's been
more
an
so.
art period
Okay.
in our culture. So I can't speak to anybody else's. I didn't grow up anywhere else, and I mean, I know some, history of other places, but not as well as I know that of this country. So I would leave it here. But yeah, I just don't. I think that it's obviously I'm older too, and now, and I look at it like, yo, y'all doing a lot. But I feel like I have the self-awareness to know that I'm sure that my great grandmother said the same thing when my grandmother started listening to blues and rock and roll. So I mean, it just I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm saying it is a thing, and I think that everybody has to approach it. And because if we want to talk about it in a like regular world sense or in a spiritual world sense, those are two very different things. So because I am a spiritual person and I am a Christian, so I do believe you need to guard your spirit from a lot of this, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Well, we're gonna have that conversation one day because that's where all this has stemmed from. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was talking to we have a friend Nick, and he, we be talking about going down these rabbit holes on TikTok, and
Oh.
I really do learn a lot of cool things, but like the other stuff, you really can go down like crazy things, and it's like some of them really do be having you think, honestly, like it really has made me think more about wanting to minimalize my life. Like, what am I chasing after? Does it really align with what my purpose is? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I was more selective about certain things in my life versus having a lot, everything just kind of clicked better. So I don't know. It's just I'm in this place thinking about it, and then the Madonna thing threw me for a loop because beyond the devil and all that stuff, I just think it personally, Madonna just it's almost like I feel like she made Kanye West right. Like the fact that everyone had such an outrage towards Kanye West, and no one's upset with Vanity Fair, or we live in this culture. Fine, I get it. Madonna did it, for years and years, and we accepted it, or it just was a thing. But now we're in a new culture. I thought we don't accept certain things, and it's just weird. It's weird. It's concerning. It's dark, especially after the Balenciaga thing, and like you have dead babies on you. Like it's just a lot. And I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to think about deep, dark conspiracies. The fuck? Like, what? But this is the imagery that is in our every Vanity Fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyone can see that stuff. It's just wild to me. I sound like a grandpa. All right. Girls Trip 2. Twitter went crazy supporting Tiffany Haddish, saying that we're treating Tiffany Haddish unfairly. It's not fair that Aries Spears is selling out his comedy shows, and people are saying to not let Tiffany be in Girls Trip, to not support Tiffany for Girls Trip 2. I think we're talking apples and oranges here because
Ooh, child.
I looked up Aries Spears' $25 tickets, and
No, I was gonna say I didn't even know he was like still like a touring
Girl,
comic to
but
begin.
can you imagine where he's touring? Like, of course, like he probably bought the extra tickets to be like, oh wow, Aries Spears is selling out. Like, who
Yeah.
has reported live from a fucking Aries Spears like, no, man. So sorry. And it's like, again, do I think Tiffany Haddish is out here, touching children? No. But it's just like, girl, again, Madonna's exhausting me. Like, girl, I don't have time to, like, it's the same thing why I feel like the Good Morning America thing with, what's their names, those two.
Amy
Like,
and Jay.
I just don't want it. I don't want that. I don't want that
So
kind of.
you don't want her in Girls Trip 2. You think she should be cut.
No, I mean, I don't care personally I don't care. My whole thing is, at this point, she just isn't a, like, now it's just like, oh girl, you let me down, like, meh. But you aren't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care whether she's in it or not. You know what I mean? Like, I'll watch it when it comes out. Am I going to the movie theater to go see that movie? No. When it comes out on streaming services, I'll watch it the same way I watched the first one. But, like, am I, like, rooting for Tiffany Haddish? No. Like, am I, like, rooting for her downfall? No.
Yeah.
Sorry, girl. Like, any interest I had is just gone.
Now gone.
And,
Interesting.
there is a way that maybe she could redeem herself. Maybe I watch it and I'm like, oh, you know what? That was so great. Maybe. If maybe her performance is, you know what I mean? Stellar. I mean, doubtful, but,
I
hey.
mean, it's just, I feel like it's a really tough position because I'm kind of like you. Like when all the stuff happened with her, it was just like, oh, gross. This is too much. I don't even care anymore. Just like disappear. And then, so this comes up now. She has been quiet. I do always appreciate when they actually step away and just
Right.
go somewhere.
Yes.
Like, I'm glad she did that. I think that was important and helpful. But then when they announced, like, Girls Trip is back, I'm like, I can't imagine it without her. Because the reality is she was kind of the, like, plug of the first one that was, like, the linchpin that made it the funny that it was. But I can't see that comedy being done again now, having that picture of her in my head. So, as the writers and producers, I can understand how she might kind of take people out of the moment of the movie now with what has happened. So, I don't necessarily know that her being in it is a good idea, but also my heart goes out to her because I don't feel like she should lose her whole career based on a really stupid decision and bad creative.
I don't think she should lose her whole career. And shout out to Tay Tay in the chat. I honestly don't care either, but she did disappoint me.
Yeah, we're all super disappointed in her for sure. Like,
I
ugh.
think I feel like realistically she shouldn't do it personally. I
You
feel
don't think
like I
you think
feel
she should just step away herself?
yes. I feel like you just said, like, her being quiet, her stepping away from it, because also she did get a lot of backlash for Girls Trip for playing the, like, loud ghetto black girl. Like, she did get
Yeah.
a lot of hate for that. So I could see her saying, okay, I'm not going to do this. Because I believe that they could easily fill that spot with a new person. In a, very unique way they could write that in. And to me, her showing, like, look, I'm trying to be a different person. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have did that. So I'm just chilling right now. I'm not gonna do that big movie right now. My focus is on something else. I want to act as, I would love to see her in a different type of role versus just playing the same. You know what I mean? Personally, that's what would draw me back into Tiffany Haddish, to see some sort of growth in her. Or if she went and focused on a totally different type of business, which I heard she was kind of doing with some
No.
app or something like that. I don't know. I
She was
just,
at grocery stores and had an app like in the hood. Like she was doing quite a few different things to try to bring up her community.
mm-hmm. Well, Tay
Um,
Tay says she lost all her other projects, so I get it. She needs a job, but
yeah, she
I'm
doesn't even, I bet she does. That's the other part. Like, yes, she was doing really well and had a lot of checks coming in, but they stopped. So I am sure that from a financial perspective, she probably could use a job.
yeah, I could see that too.
And I don't want
But
nobody, she don't deserve to be going hungry and losing her house over that situation.
no, and I don't see that happening for her. I'm sure she's got things figured out. She's friends with some pretty smart people. So, all right. We lost one in the war. To all my gay men out there. There was a Georgia couple, a gay Georgia couple, who got caught, thankfully. They adopted two children, two boys, and they were basically pimping these boys out to their friends. Like, they were getting on Grindr, they were getting on all these things. And this is like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've had my years with Grindr and all that stuff. It's dark. You know what I mean? We sitting here talking about the devil. Like, the app literally is a devil. Like, the face is a devil. Like, look at porn. Most of porn, like, logos and stuff like that, it's like devil horns. It's a devil spike, tail. It's like Grindr's a legit demon face. Like, it's toxic, it's addicting, it creates this world of, fetish that is, you know what I mean, like, hey, have some fun, you know what I mean, Young Miami, you want to get peed on, girl, hey. You know what I'm saying? My ex did it to me one time, and that was the last time. It was like, what are you doing? Like, in the shower, like, it was just like, what? Like, hey, and if that's your thing, that's your thing, not my thing. But, like, when it comes to harming people, like, that's like with the whole, like, people have this thing. I remember going to Folsom Festival and seeing people, like, getting tied up until they were purple. They were tied so tight and, like, stretched and all this stuff, like, till they were purple. And it's just like, look, like, why is this in public? Like, why is this mainstream? Why are we showing this on, like, Fox? American Horror Stories got it. Like, it's just like, and now you have sex parties, and, like, all the fighting people have done to get gay people rights, and you're out here pimping children. Like, you know how hard I've fought towards the stigma of, like, pedophilia within gay people, like, from just my nephews, like, working at a boys and girls club, like, and hearing how people would judge or something like that. It's just like, it infuriates me. And seeing gay couple, arrested for this, gay couple bothers me, because they would never write straight couple. But the idea is, that is wild. That is wild that you would allow, you don't care. This is what I'm saying. Like, last week when we were talking about, the gay community, a lot of y'all don't care. You don't care about a community, and you act like you do, but you don't. Like, what? And then anyone that I knew that to go over there and do that, shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. That is wild. That is wild, and it's disappointing. It's disgusting. And again, it's got me pissed off that now this is our new gay flag. This is our new gay flag, you guys. Where is it? This is our new gay flag. Like, what the fuck is this? What is this? What is the... Like, who threw the... Like, this looks horrendous. This thing in the middle is for sex workers. I thought LGBT was about identity. Like, so what? Now I can say I identify as a sex worker?
Apparently.
It bothers me because I do not want... Just because I'm gay, it does not have to associate with sex. I could be asexual, still be gay, and be in a relationship with a man.
Yeah.
So I could identify as gay because I love a man, but we don't have sex. Now, once you put sex worker here, and now this whole trans age thing is starting to get in where people feel like they're 7,
Oh.
that they want to be identified as 7. Oh, it's real.
Like I was trying to like, okay, what can I make? I'm always trying to see the other angle. Like, is there another angle that I'm missing? Like, what am I missing? Is it just an attempt, sort of like, Black people, I feel like when Black people can succeed and have acceptance in this country, I think that actually opens a door even wider for acceptance all around for people. So maybe on some level, the gay community with the flag, they're thinking that like we are embracing all those who are not embraced. And in this situation, because of the lack of embracing as a culture, many of us do end up as sex workers and doing things that maybe other people don't have to resort to because they aren't rejected in society the way that we are. So that we're opening our arms wide to bring everybody in because we want everybody to win and we want everybody to have a home and feel a place. And maybe that's the soul of what's trying to be had. But I understand why that is still then communicating a level of so-called sexual deviancy onto gay, homosexual situations that maybe you wouldn't want to be said, but maybe they're saying, fuck all y'all in the face of all of that. We are bringing in all of our people and all the people that have been thrown away by this culture.
Okay, and I can understand that, but then isn't that just what the rainbow meant? Every color of the
I don't know.
rainbow. Like now it's like
I mean,
we
a
have
lot of
like a
people
pinata
say
in
it.
the middle of it. Like I mean, honestly,
I
I love the trans flag. I
mean,
think it's cute. I like those colors, anyways. Hey, next mood swing. But it's just like I thought the rainbow was inclusive of everybody. Because now we're going back to the hypocrisy of last week when I got yelled at by the gay guys talking about we don't want straight women bachelorettes or straight women in the gay clubs. Well, what if they're sex workers and they're getting married to their straight sex worker man and they want to go to the fucking party?
child, it's a whole lot. That's why we were talking earlier about how we have to, some of us that are believers, guard our spirits. I have to guard my spirit against all that because it's doing too much. It's
Too
requiring too much.
much. And
I got bills to pay. We in a recession. We got inflation. I can't get a dozen of eggs. I went to Costco. They didn't have no eggs or egg whites anywhere in the whole damn store. It's too much going on, child. Be who you want to be. Do who you want to do. Do what you want to do, and just do it by yourself over there.
yeah, and Tay says exactly. I saw on Twitter today people talking about a little boy getting his makeup done as if it was bad for him. I mean, look, if the boy want to get his makeup done, how many kids get their face painted? You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Exactly.
gotta remove those stigmas. But like, you know, identifying like when we start really starting like to take things seriously, like, and you want to take your identity serious enough to call yourself something. We really gotta. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't know. Maybe I just really didn't know what all the flag fully meant and was supposed to be for. I just thought it was for identity. But all right, let's get into some Housewives because
Yeah.
we got all our shows this week.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we got Salt Lake reunion
Yes.
and no Jen Shaw, but
Oh.
no Jen Shaw, but we did.
But surprise, surprise, surprise.
But we did get. Where's my? Hold on, y'all. Where are we? Share screen. Boom. But she did decide to give us a link. It is the real story of Jen Shaw. The truth is coming, and there's a website called Dear Jen Shaw. Now, if you're watching this, I personally would recommend not to put your email address in there.
Don't do it, y'all. You know she is a scammer.
Because if a link comes to your email and you click that, some people can get information off of links and stuff like that. So like this already website looks questionable at that.
Damn her.
So yeah, so that's what Jen's doing with herself.
Did it show how much she's charging?
I
Without, like,
don't know.
I'm curious.
Yeah, but I'm not that curious.
Clearly, I'm not either because I didn't go click and find anything. So yes.
I'm not that
Well,
curious.
good for her. She really,
She doing
do what you
something.
got to do, make some coins, girl.
All right, so this reunion was in a destroyed church. Like it looked like a bomb hit a church, which was supposed to be, bad Mormon or something. Like I don't
know.
And all the girls got out of the Sprinter van, which I like that. That was cute. I thought Lisa was the best dressed personally.
Lisa, yeah, she looks pretty.
It was
Actually,
basic.
Meredith looked really good, even though it was pretty basic.
Yeah, okay, here's my thing with Meredith. I did like the color, and I was going back and forth if I liked it or not. I just feel like I wish it was a different color, though. I didn't mind the color, but on her, it was something weird about the neck going on. And I almost wish it was like a different color. That's why I gave it to Lisa. But yeah, I would say those two were the best. I hated what Heather had on. It looked like
Heather's outfit made her look like a linebacker with really large boobs, and Whitney just looks cheap.
Whitney looked cheap, and
them other hoes that came out, they clothes was homegirl with the cape, her thing was falling off. Dana.
Mortal Kombat! Like, girl, what?
I can't even. I just,
like, and then fucking
all of them.
Angie 2.0 looking like Katana. Like, girl, what in the...
Like, no.
Girl,
no,
Princess Leia, what? When she was with Jabba the Hutt. Like, girl, what?
No, they all never need to be seen again. Like, ever. I don't need to hear or see them ever again.
So, all right, no Jen. The girls all react to Jen changing her plea. Whitney said she was surprised. Lisa had mixed emotions. Meredith was shocked. Heather said she knew. She cried. She said good luck. And she said, again, remember the end of the last episode, I said she made a weird comment about Coach Shaw. And then in this point, she said, I feel like she got in trouble for doing something she really didn't want to do. And I feel like that's a setup. I feel like Heather is painting a picture that Coach Shaw was making her do it or be involved in it. I mean,
I thought she was saying that Coach Shaw made her plea.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I thought was being said. I still have a problem with that whole discourse, but my understanding was that she felt like Jen didn't actually want to plead guilty, but Coach Shaw made her in order to sort of keep him from being further implicated or whatever. And I don't like that at all. And I'm the first one that said there's no way that Coach Shaw didn't know what she was doing, but I feel like he knew what she was doing and knew that it wasn't completely above board and would give her advice on how to be as above board as possible because he was an attorney. I don't like the implication that he was actually a part of the scam because I don't personally believe that. I think he was doing his job. She had her job and he definitely knew because ain't no way you don't know that kind of money coming in. Ain't with your wife, like you're not stupid and you a black man in America. You ain't that dumb. Like, and educated.
You asking questions, right?
Yeah, you're going to ask some questions. So I do think that which makes him, complicit to a certain degree. But I don't think that he was the one, like, the master plan, you must scam the peoples. I think because she had been doing this for quite some time. She was investigated before the show. And it just didn't go further. And so I just didn't like that. And maybe that makes me racist, especially coming from this white lady trying to make it seem like the black man's that, he's the master manipulator behind the whole scam when we know Stewart's ass was sitting there doing the same shit with Jen. Like, I wasn't feeling that at all, Heather.
Yeah, Heather. Oof, we're gonna get into Heather. But first, let's get into Lisa and Meredith. So, Meredith, I really liked Meredith like the first few seasons. I as a
Did you?
favorite. I did as a favorite. Just her character. I could stand the stuff she was doing because I thought her character was funny. It's played out now, and the delusion, and maybe she's drinking on pills. Maybe those are true. Maybe they are. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, allegedly,
allegedly.
allegedly.
Because you start the whole thing off talking about I'm not even mad about the hot mic moment. You are. You are. Now you're mad about other things, but you are mad about the hot mic moment still because we got so many arguments that stem from that. She says, I thought we were moving forward, but Lisa unfollowed me. And she hurt me by posting text about the date of my father's death.
I'm like, here we go again. Didn't the same shit happen with Heather and Lisa?
Yes.
I'm so tired. Did they run out of storylines so they had to make another one up?
That's all I could get from this. Meredith says that she should have checked. She should have checked on Lisa. I mean, I will give Meredith that she did take accountability here.
It does.
And it felt genuine. Because I think that what she said when Andy said, is there really any way you guys can move forward? I think Meredith needs to break down and cry like that. Not on the empathy, because it's just I also think she's just someone when she's super frazzled, she just cries. But I do believe that she genuinely, when she thinks she cares for these people, she cares for them. And so then she's kind of shocked. And she needs to take accountability on her own end too, because it's girl, if you did say that about someone, you do have to know your friendship's not going back to normal.
No.
It's just not.
Not just oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're fine again. No, you said some wild-ish.
Right. Then we get to the Lisa's multiple blowjobs for Vita's rumors.
Oh, God.
And Whitney says Heather spun her words, which is true, about the blowjob for courtside tickets. And then we got, it was not true actually, because, she used that terminology, but the flashback showed that Whitney did say.
Clearly, you were saying she was doing some kind of sexual
Right.
favor. So
Right.
Heather was just saying blowjobs just as a thing, one of the potential sexual favors. Girl, stop.
And then it turns into an argument where Meredith calls Jen to see if, hey, Jen, Lisa's saying that you told her that I do special K in shrooms. And Jen goes, yeah, that's a lie. And shout out to Lisa, because I agree with everything Lisa said. She was like, you're going to believe her? She's literally going to jail for lying.
For lying. For lying to people.
And no offense, but Meredith was the final one there for Jen. So yeah, Jen's at this point. Because low key, Jen is nasty. And everyone needs to be done with Jen. And anyone that takes Jen back after this, I'm not even going to say it, but Andy calls out Meredith about the SEC filing. Meredith denies it, and then we get footage. Meredith says, let's just be nice and cordial, and Lisa cried, said that the whole thing was fixated on her. Girl, bye. Angie 2.0, and Dana came out. We got the clip of... so Dana says that basically she didn't like Jen because she didn't like how she approached Angie. That bothers me because you had nothing to do with what was happening. And clearly you buck up. So Jen bucked up when she found out that a woman she knows husband created an account using their name. So she bucked up on her. Just like you buck up on her.
I'm going to give Dana, whatever the fuck her name is, a little bit peace, because I see where she's coming from.
I do.
Because
I do too.
I was in a situation and I saw how, even if you're upset to a degree, Jen's behavior towards other people is appalling.
And
I
inexcusable.
don't care if she's mad or not mad or whatever. She has a very disrespectful mouth. And I would take an issue with that. If even if my homegirl did something wrong and you in a public space, like don't come up on my friend like that. Like you can have a disagreement and not do what Jen does. You can tell somebody about themselves and not do what Jen does.
Right.
And for that reason, I kind of get that that may have been an initial catalyst for not liking Jen, and then watching her continue to behave like a horrible human to Heather, to everybody, would only enhance that to when she said at the end, bitch, you ain't got how. And the way, obviously, she brought up how Jen talked about where she lives and all of that. 100%, if I were Dana, I would have a problem with Jen too.
No, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I actually watched the. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. All right, Courtney, you can hear me, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Boom. All right, so I actually feel like Dana, we might be able to like redeem with Dana, but we need a new cat. We'll need somebody else. But
No,
I
we
feel
can't.
like,
We can't redeem with Dana. No, she needs to go away. She
oh,
still needs to go away, especially the way that dress was falling off of her shoulders and her her hood accent when she got upset. I was girl. No,
oh, her
no.
hood accent because of where she lives, and Jen said that where she lives is the ghetto,
I
and her
I don't.
husband's name Ernesto, and Jen made fun of that.
Okay,
And
you know what? Let me take that back. I lied. Actually, I don't know that I would mind her staying if she, because I felt like she, this whole time was trying to be something that she isn't fully. And I feel like if she fully relaxes into whatever that was coming out, the bulldog that was coming out, then she would be good conflict for the show.
oh, okay, so you feel like she's putting on like hello kind
I
of a.
think she's trying to be,
Okay, I agree. I can see that.
like I don't know what the word is, but she's trying to keep everything above board, and she's popped off a little bit, but not like for real, for real. But you could tell at the reunion she was moving into the full pop off and was pulling herself back. So I think that if she will really pop off, it might be
Well,
good.
that's
Good.
probably why the girls brought her to scare Jen a little bit. Like,
But do you feel a little weird like listening to all of these women talk about Jen? Like literally, Jen is like this
no, I hate it. Courtney, it's
God
weird.
figure.
It's
I'm like, you're grown
weird.
ass women. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, why is Dana the only one that will step to Jen for real and like say some shit about her? Everybody else is all like, like, are they scared they gonna get beat up for real?
Well,
Like,
the other part was we find out that um, Angie said that she never said the rumor, but then she talked to Whitney and whatever. Lisa said she never made a fake account. And basically, I feel like that whole thing was Angie just trying to like not bring up that her husband was trolling women. But then Angie 2.0 said that Jen wanted her in the group, but with conditions. And I a million percent agree with that. I a million percent
yeah,
agree that from the Angie throwing the party was Jen's first way of getting her to like, oh girl, this would be a great way for the producers to meet you and they'll see your house and
yeah,
it'll be amazing. That was her first thing. And then it was like, because Angie was so loyal to Jen, Jen wanted her on the show as long as she was going to only be on her team. Because then when we find out that Jen was basically controlling who texts who, like Meredith wasn't allowed to text Heather and Heather wasn't
I was
allowed to
like,
text Heather,
what is
like,
this middle school? Like, how is this happening?
and then she was talking shit about Heather to Angie, and like if anyone is still friends with this woman after this, I don't want to see her back on Housewives. I hope.
No, she 6 years, she won't be back. There's no way. I mean,
I,
she might get her own show when she gets out, but I mean, at this point, Salt Lake might not even be around at that point. But who
right, because I mean, on thin ice.
6 more years Housewives will be moving into what, 25 years worth of Housewives?
I feel like they could hit 30. I'm just kidding.
Ooh, child.
We get to the black eye, which apparently there was an investigation launched, but not until they left, which is like, how could there be an investigation? And this whole thing was, again, exhausting. I did think it was interesting how sensitive Lisa got about it, about production. And I wonder what happened there because, she said because of the way you made it seem, it affected a lot other people's lives, like who were on production. And yeah, it made me think. I've worked on these shows before, and if someone doesn't like, if a talent doesn't like somebody, or accuse somebody of something, like the PA or like the lowest person, what I mean? It's like, that's so easy to just be like, bye. And then someone doesn't have a job, or even like a fight like that, because if they think something happened to her, everyone has to stay there. And like, I remember one thing with Farrah Abram or whatever her name is on
Teen Mom?
No, X on the Beach. And girl, it was like, for some reason she listened to me and she got into it with one of our producers. She was like, you black bitch, like just crazy. And they were like, Jesse, can you call me the Pharaoh Whisperer? And they were like, can you go up there? I was supposed to be clocked out. We were there for like 2.5 hours with this girl. Like, so, and now imagine if people thought she was hurt, how this could have turned into. So it's like, it's disrespectful. And then to see Heather become super apologetic of that, I really wonder what happened, because that was an interesting comment.
So you bought it?
What?
The remorse?
Towards that one part. Towards like, I don't think I do not think Heather cares about affecting anyone on that couch's life, but I do think like if a PA or somebody was, like their life was bothered, like, but who knows, and it could be Lisa being over dramatic, but I did feel like her not kind of shoving that aside and her kind of taking that accountability for that, to me means something happened with somebody, and we'll never know that. But I don't know, so I believe that part. Everything else, she's bullshit. It's so wild to me. It's like, now here's what I'm thinking. I have 3 theories. I actually think Dana had the best theory, because she basically said like they probably were drunk, and just fucking whatever. What if now this is crazy, and I have not thought about this until how she was acting in this episode. What if she like hooked up with somebody? Like, what if she was so drunk and like just like blacked out drunk, but she was like, I'm in fucking wherever I am and I want to get fucked. And she went out and like tried to find somebody and like got into it with somebody, or I don't know. Like I thought about that too. Like, and that's why she's embarrassed to even say what could have happened, because it's like an investigation. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. These girls were in your room until 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. It just,
I don't think she went anywhere, because like the time lapse wasn't enough. And if she was that drunk that she was blackout
what if
drunk,
what if she was hooking up with somebody on production?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, I've hooked up with a talent before.
No, I mean, maybe it's totally possible, but like, I don't know. But I feel like if it was somebody on production that she didn't want to get in trouble, then she would have made up. When she woke up, she would have just been like, yeah, I was a drunk fool. I fell. I hit myself. Or, Jen got me with her elbow. Like, we were goofing off like idiots and I feel so dumb. Like, I don't, it's so, she made it so sinister.
Yeah.
And she has stuck with that sinister idea and I feel like because it didn't play well, the whole victimization part, now she's trying to be like, oh, I was embarrassed because I'm a Mormon and I still am embarrassed that
Girl,
I drink.
you literally wrote a book called Bad Mormon.
Thank you. Like, I think that was all bullshit to try to get sympathy cards because it did not play well during the season. And in the end, I'm still over it. I don't care.
Well,
And
what I pray,
because he was punched in the eye. Like, you had to have got punched before you blacked out. Because even if you blacked out, if somebody punched you in the eye while you were blacked out, would you not wake up?
well, no, I know people who get blacked out and they are like physically moving around, like, and like, that's the scary, that's a very scary drunk. Like, they are actively moving around, they're talking to people, they are.
I actually remember it, so that's fair.
Yeah. And then we finish it with Angie 2.0 bringing up sexual relations between Jen and Heather, which I pray it's not, because the vision of that is.
I don't even. I was like, check out, done, episode over. Please never make me watch this again.
I just picture two rhinoceroses like charging at each other.
That's terrible.
All
And
right.
I can't see it.
Let's get into Potomac, but before we do that, let's go over they dropped the season 7 reunion dresses. Giselle Bryant.
Child looking like a church lady.
What church she going to? The Church of Beyonce?
No, that is Black church going to like the gala of the season for the gospel, like whatever. All she needed was a big old hat with them gloves and covered up to the neck, so can't nobody talk about a neck. Like, it was.
This gives me Karen Huger more than Giselle, but all right, Giselle.
I mean, does anything give Giselle? Like, I couldn't even like define what a Giselle style
like
is.
To me, Giselle would be like a hot pink pantsuit, or
Well,
like.
they all supposed to wear blue, so
No, I know, but all right, and then we got Ashley, which.
I mean, she's serving body. She's serving body.
I do like the top. I like this. Wig. I don't like the wig, but I do like the top. Like, girl, look at that part. Are you kidding me? Ma'am.
I just don't think the wig is her color. It should be a little bit longer, and like, it's just not hitting the way that.
Or I wish it was, what's it called when it's kind of like angled? Like longer in the front and shorter in the back, kind of a like, if we're gonna like make the statement. Yeah,
she definitely needed some more length around her face.
But I do like the top. Not crazy about the bottom, but her body's everything.
Ice skater to me, but her body looks amazing, so I'll take it.
Big Bird, Candace Dillard. I feel like I want to like where she was trying to go with it, and I feel like this is like. I would like to see Phaedra Parks do this. Something, but like, I feel like she would have picked the better dress and she'd have a hat for it.
I feel like this, just speaking of the dress, I don't quite like how the bodice is done because it looks like they just threw feathers on the front.
Exactly. It looks like cheap.
It looks cheap. And then I also think that Candace is a very tiny girl and the dress is wearing her. So it looks like she's like playing dress up. Yeah. And I don't think that's her, and I think she's too cute for that. So for me, it was a miss, but not because it's bad, just because it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at the hair.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the hair.
I mean, you want to talk about basic bitch right here. Like, Robin, what is this?
Somebody posted on Twitter, like, she went to Charlotte Russe and got her prom dress, and I literally almost fell on the floor because that was very accurate.
It looks like a table runner. Like, what?
I mean, I will say that it's clean.
Yeah, I mean,
it fits.
No stains. Okay, good job, girl.
It's tailored. Like, it looks like it's tailored to her very well.
Could be better. That
picture was not great, I think.
It wasn't. She should have been sitting in the chair, maybe leg crossed, a little gangsta pose.
And I can't tell what her hair is doing. Like, are the locks long and it's just like pulled behind her shoulder?
No, I feel like it's not. I feel like it's like ends just a little below that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I feel like she should have had like nice, strong blonde wave,
Yes.
old Hollywood wave going with it. But
Ooh, a nice little, yeah, Hollywood wave. Imagine if she came out with some finger waves.
Veronica Lake. Wait, what did you say?
I said, imagine if she came out with some finger waves with this dress.
Oh god, like
Uh, Karen,
the yellow.
Karen Huger.
Too much, but she tried.
She tried, and
Karen Huger.
no, not into it. I don't like, honestly, like, the dress could have done it. It's where the chest piece is. It looks cheap. And I don't like her hair.
Yeah, I was trying to like. I didn't not like her hair. I just hated that the wig and the wig line and her skin and the spray tan, like something is just
I
not
wish the bun
working.
was tighter.
Yeah, something's not quite hitting.
No. Oh God. Wendy. Wendy.
I don't hate it.
Oh, I do.
I don't hate it. I think it's
I like the colors.
I love the colors, and on her skin, it's marvelous. Like her leg and body look fabulous. The wig is perfect. Makeup looks great.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
just a little. I feel like the if the bodice was the same as the skirt, the top of the skirt is like a lighter color because it's like a ombre kind of print color on the skirt. I feel like they changed the material to make it kind of look like a freaking mermaid
Oh,
situation with like beads.
I'm seeing peacock.
Well, the peacock is the feather across her chest, but
Mm-hmm.
the actual bodice is like a white, pearly beaded like corset, and then it goes like kind of cream and blues down the skirt.
Yeah,
If the
like you're saying
fabric,
if it was flipped, like the blue is at the top and
well, no, no, no. I'm just saying, even if the top of the skirt, like from her waist to like those first few inches, was the same on the corset, it wouldn't be quite as like distracting to me.
okay.
And then the accent would be the crazy feather thing. But there's a lot going on that dress. But I give
I think
her,
the feather is what's really bothering me. I actually kind of
I
like
mean,
the waist down. I'm not mad at that. Like,
yeah, waist down is perfect. I just have a problem with the corset.
yeah, it's like the color, the like what it looks like, the bumps on the corset are like,
Yes, it's beading. Like it's like it looks feathery on the skirt, but then you put beading on the corset and then put a feather on the top. Like it was like a kid's art project.
oh God,
But the color is fabulous, and she looks beautiful.
Mia. I
Tra-
mean, mirror on the wall, girl.
Tragedy,
What? Looks like
tragedy,
she got from a sex shop.
tragedy.
Jacqueline Blake looks
Boring.
like what you could
Somebody
afford.
said somebody said she was getting her homecoming gown.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Santee Alley.
Mhm.
And I need Charisse to.
Charisse is a mother of the bride.
Yes.
She looks mother
There
of
you
the,
go. Boom.
she literally looks like a mother of the bride.
Boom. Boom. That, I mean, you can't come up with nothing after that. Perfect. Mother
There's nothing like,
of the bride or the sister-in-law. Or she's the
possibly.
sister-in-law. Reason I say sister-in-law because that little cutout on the waist.
She's trying to be a little
She's trying to give
sexy.
us,
A little
but then
sexy.
mother-in-law because of the heels. Because
Mhm.
what are those? So
They try. So nobody gets 100%.
they tried.
They tried.
They tried. Also Salt Lake reunion, interesting, because I wrote the two best dressed were Lisa and Andy, and when they did the flashback to Andy on Watch What Happens Live with Meredith, he's wearing the same jacket. So they must have filmed the reunion that same night. I wonder.
Interesting.
Um and I also thought it was interesting that they used that clip. It's like, what? Okay. Real Housewives of Potomac. Giselle says Wendy is jealous of Mia.
Child, I literally fell out. I was done.
Especially because of how that was the first thing that started the episode and then the way the episode ended. I
Yes,
think
it's
it's the
so
opposite,
Mhm.
Giselle.
Clearly. You know what I decided?
What?
Think that there was actually competition. Robin, Mia, both wanted Wendy.
I could see that.
And there was that caused problems. And Robin probably thought that Wendy dealing with Mia was doing too much, and she didn't appreciate it because she was in love with Wendy, and that's causing all the problems. And then Mia was like, "Oh snap, you trying to like be friends with Robin, and I'm supposed to be your thing," and she got upset, so she picked a fight with Wendy.
Not your thing. Be my thing.
You know?
All right. Then Mia says her and Jacqueline cannot come back from this argument that they have, but she's gonna try. Like, everything you say is a contradiction. There's no coming back, but I'm gonna try. Okay. She wants to plan a bachelorette themed stripper party for Robin. And also, that scene was amazing because Giselle pulled bread out of her purse, and I just thought of you because I was like, that would be us.
100% be me. Like, and that's why I feel like I often try to like empathize with Giselle, because I feel like for the most part,
Nope.
everything she does it for show purposes. But like in real life, I don't think that's what she
I
does.
can't. I've always said that, but
But
I can't give it
this
to her.
episode,
Yeah.
yeah, the jealous of like I was like, you seemed a little too believing that yourself, and I don't like it. But I also feel like Giselle looks unwell.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. This episode, I think I am fully washing my hands of Giselle. I just this whole episode, every episode is Giselle carrying the controversy and starting these arguments. She held on to the thing with Karen, the picture that was sent to her, and this table scene that we got reminded me of the season of Housewives of Atlanta with when they went Nene, Phaedra, Portia were like on one side of the table, and then it was Claudia, Kenya, Cynthia at the other table. This for some reason gave me that a little bit, but I started comparing it, and I was like, when Nene was mean, at least it was funny. Like it felt like a game of shade. Like if Nene threw it at you, she was expecting you to throw it back so that she could throw it 2 times harder. Giselle doesn't even give us that. Like there's no like, she doesn't like at least Kyle on Beverly Hills comes across a little more sincere, and it's kind of like that's what makes you be like, oh, you fucking little bitch. Like with Kyle, because it's like, oh, she's so sneaky when she does it. With Giselle, it's just so like, it's just mean. It's just like, girl, what? Like, I would as much as I've said, oh, in real life, like, it just comes across so conniving. Like, girl, you are only for yourself, and you're mean. Like, you're genuinely mean, and it feels like you don't have loyalty. And now I'm questioning your loyalty with Robin, because I feel like Robin must know something, because the way I don't know. This whole episode just gave me the ick, and like, not to take away from her ex, and I'm sure he was a dog in his own ways. But like,
he still is.
You said what?
I said, child, he still is.
Right. I'm not taking that away also. But I also am looking at you like, girl, like, now I'm questioning, like, were you a perfect person? Not that you cheated or anything like that, but like, girl, you're mean. Like, and I don't know. Like, this episode really just did not sit well with me.
I just feel like Giselle has light skin, pretty black girl syndrome. And so when the way you said, like, Nene can be funny with it and whatever, like, Giselle never had to be, and so she didn't develop that portion of her personality, like, ever. So even though that may not be who she is, like, out in life, in order to succeed on this show, all she knows how to do is revert to that syndrome. which makes her just cold and just say whatever to pass it along because she knows she got to keep things moving. But she has no like creative way to make that happen, to make it more entertaining. She just like, well, I know I got to bring this up, so I'm gonna bring it up, and I don't care.
Well, she does that. That is exactly what she does. I'm not going to talk about Robin doing her planning for the wedding because we found out
That was stupid.
she got married.
I mean, at least she got married though,
Mm-hmm.
because most of us still didn't see that coming. Ever.
Didn't. And then we see Karen meet up with Ashley. This was just the two of them. I'm like, is Ashley on like moon rocks or something? Because she was real peppy. She maybe because she getting dick from that new guy. They was real peppy when they first met up with each other. And then Karen basically told her that she's upset with Robin's personal attack on her, calling her fake. And Ashley brings up Charisse, and Karen didn't want to talk about that and switched the conversation from Charisse to Juan's other woman. And shout out to the producers for the SVU thing.
Not even the drawing. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh, she was blonde. She kind of looked like you.
That drawing is everywhere. It's too much.
And Ashley takes that information and runs to Candace and Wendy.
And pretends like she's not gonna tell them.
Right, but then
tells them. They're guessing, and she's like, yes.
And then we get to the bus, the Shady Question bus, where we learn that Karen watches the most beautiful porn. And Ashley afterwards tells Robin about what Karen said, calls Juan. Juan freaks out, and Robin was like smiling when he was yelling. And I was just like, ew, you called him just for that, so you could feel good. I just want to feel good.
I don't know why that makes you feel good, sis, because
I know, it was weird.
If it wasn't true, he would be like, what the fuck? That's crazy as hell.
You gonna cuss out a 60-something-year-old woman? Like,
and you're gonna cuss me out like I'm the one that said it.
Right.
No, like you're mad at me. Oh, see, that's why I don't fucking do this show, blah, 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 blah. So basically he's showing once again, like he's been showing for the last 7 seasons, he don't give a fuck about you. He don't give a fuck about this show, but he needs the check. And so he's still there. I would be embarrassed if I were her.
So then they go to eat, and as they're sitting down, Ashley tells Robin, Candace brings up what Ashley said about Karen, and that flipped into Karen saying that Robin's wedding is fake because of the side chick. And interesting enough, Wendy and Candace said they heard it too. Apparently this girl is in Georgetown, which is the next town over, and he goes to the next town over and walks out in public with her holding hands, and this has been known for a long time. And then Giselle came in, and Karen said, Giselle, you're not even near an altar. Be quiet.
Sit down.
And then Robin brings up pictures of Mean Girls, you guys. Brings up pictures of Karen with a blue-eyed man wearing a red-skin shirt at a bar. But they won't show Karen. And screams, "This is Blue Eyes, y'all." Clearly you got this rumor from Charisse, because then they showed the flashback of Charisse talking about the blue-eyed man. And the picture came from Giselle. And Karen says, I've been doing all this because I've been protecting Juan. And Karen brings up a past reunion about a threesome question and says that Juan squeezed her and said, "I want you to be number 3 in the threesome." Says she felt he touched her inappropriately, and Juan once said he wanted her. Robin was so pissed. If you watched her, she was scrolling at that table as everyone was like, "Girl, you're ridiculous." But then when Giselle was in her head, I do remember Karen mentioning a husband but never saying who the husband was. And I remember we thought it was G.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So interesting enough, Juan. All right, Look at Juan.
And
Juan just down for
I
whatever.
believe her, honey.
Boys, girls, whatever
I
your
believe
age is.
her because all this talk, men are nasty, honey. Men are hoes.
And I
And
believe Karen can be freaky.
and I bet she is. And Karen had her body snatched, her face snatched, her wigs new. And even looking in that flashback when they were all wearing the white, Karen was looking better than Robin, child.
Yep.
And especially better than Robin now wearing her safari outfits in Mexico. So I believe her. I believe Juan probably had some drinks and was maybe not 100% serious, but like
But
if
Price
Karen
said
had given
jokingly.
him, yeah, but if Karen had given him an inch, he definitely would have taken that mile. So Robin real mad because she know her man probably did that shit, and
I
that's
mean,
why
didn't Juan let Michael grab his ass? Like,
exactly.
and now I don't want to hear nothing because y'all cared so much about Giselle's feelings about Chris and how she felt. Well, this is how Karen felt.
Exactly. And she actually got touched. Chris didn't even touch Giselle.
Oh. So it was an interesting twist. I definitely didn't see that coming. Giselle brings up Mia and Jackie. And this was where I just was like, this was like the straw for me with Giselle. Because it was like, that was exhausting. Everything we just watched right now was exhausting. And
but also that was a bad edit.
It was about it, but it also looked like they were just chilling, and it looked like Giselle was like waiting for a moment, and that's how it looked. And it could have totally been the editing on that, but
I feel like it was, they had been at dinner, they had the blow up, they probably had been there for quite some time, and a producer was like, all right, what's next? Somebody do something. And that's when Giselle was like, all right, my turn to be some nonsense.
Ooh, champ.
Exhausting. But this whole Mia and Jackie, child.
Right. So me and Jackie,
they're both back.
Jackie says we're working through it and don't care what none of y'all think. I'm better than that. And Mia was like, well, then shut up. And then that's when Jackie snapped and was like, when all these girls were questioning your cancer, I stuck up for you. She did. Me and my mom took you in. And then Mia's so dismissive of that, as if, and this is always interesting to me too with friends like this, like how Mia's like, that was your mom that did that. Her mom wouldn't have did that if you weren't friends with her.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like my parents, I had one of my best friends live with me for the longest time growing up. My parents wouldn't have done that if we weren't friends.
Like they didn't do it just for shits and giggles. It's
right.
Because you were friends and you clearly cared about them and they could help.
Right. So, I don't like how dismissive Mia is of that, because it's like, girl, what? Like, I thought you were my sister, literally, like you lived with me. So
can we talk about that for a minute? I'm glad you brought that up. I thought you were my sister, because their argument energy is very sister-like. So the overly upset about what seems to be minor, one sister being like, this is some bullshit, she always do this, like it felt very sister-like. Obviously I have two sisters, I get it. However, their relationship is still very strange to me, because how you sisters but then you fucking the same people and maybe fucking each other, like it's weird. And I don't really know then how to place dealing with their conflict, because it's lovers quarrel, but sisters, and it's weird.
Yeah, it definitely is giving like ancestral. And I don't know, but what I do know is I didn't like how this ended, because I feel like Jackie walked away from the table genuinely hurt, not off some like bullshit TV shit, like real life hurt. And for Mia, again, to be dismissive of that and then turn it to Wendy and give Wendy all these flowers, which again, I am happy that, she did.
Are you?
Well, I'm happy that I feel like she really only did it because of the Jackie thing.
Exactly.
And it was a way for her to look good, and Wendy ate it right up.
which
but
I also didn't like.
I didn't like it either. Honestly, Wendy, this episode wasn't for me either. Um, and it made me feel bad for Jackie because I feel like and I feel like Candace is the only one that really acknowledges like that's some real friend shit. Like, and I
Hmm.
do believe like that. I don't know. That bothered me. It did, and I didn't. I don't even like Jackie like that, but it bothered me.
Yeah,
Um, they go to dinner. Mia does a monkey scream, which is just she's
crazy.
she's just so pick me, like a pick me girl. They get drunk at a bar, and then Mia tells Wendy she wants to eat
Ow.
her box.
Wants the box, chow. Wants Wendy's
Maybe she
box.
said, "Let me get a bowl of cereal. I want a bowl of Cheerios. Oh, oh, it's
She wanna eat,
magic."
she want to eat it up. Mm-mm.
Been a lot of places, seen a lot of faces. Oh hell, I even fuck with different
What do you
races.
mean? Chow.
All right,
I
girl.
I just was okay, girl. Okay, girl.
Ronnie says just stopped in to say hello. What are your thoughts on the reunion looks? Ronnie, we just went
Hey, Ronnie, we just went through all
all of
of the
that. You're
what
gonna
you
have to go
pick.
scroll it back and look because we did pictures and everything. And the fact that you said you think everyone
Mhm.
looked good. He said, it's nice to see Mia and
Because
Wendy make peace, but also not sure if it was genuine. I was into the alleged box eating. I wasn't into the alleged box. I was like, oh, like, what the fuck direction is this show going? I mean,
Mia
yeah,
direction. That's Mia don't need to be on the show. Like
no,
I'm done with Mia.
me too. Like, I'd rather keep Jackie.
I agree. I would keep Jackie over Mia.
Million percent. All right, now let's get into good thing you are here, Ronnie, because I'm
Welcome to Miami.
interested to see how Miami's about to go. Real Housewives of Miami.
Ay, por favor.
So it starts out obviously from the end of last week. Nicole's upset with everyone for basically sticking up for Larsa. I don't think anyone stuck up for Larsa. I think what Nicole isn't getting is like, girl, we're a group of friends and we're on a TV show. And we understand like there's petty drama and there's like real life shit drama. And like what's happening right now is petty drama. Your career is not on edge. Larsa's not going to destroy your life because she said you slept with the like girl. It was a rumor. Like it was a rumor. No one's taking it seriously unless you actually did it. Unless you're become messy on TV, then you will start to feel that in the workplace. But I just feel like this situation, Nicole made it into something bigger because she doesn't want to take accountability. Like, girl, you judged Larsa. Just say it. I judged Larsa. I don't like her because she has an OnlyFans account. I feel like she's a slut. Me and my husband talk about her all the time. I don't want to be friends with her. So that's okay. That is okay. You don't have to. But don't invite her to things. Don't go to the same things as her. Like, and I think that's just what the girl's energy is. Like, girl, we doing this. Like, what? Like, kind of a thing. I can understand being mad about it. But, like, I just feel like Nicole's too much.
Nicole is too much, but I don't think that she was being too much about the Larsa situation. I think that she is clear that she was like, I don't really know this broad, and she got an OnlyFans account and hangs out with the Kardashians. I want to know who she is before I really roll with her. The way she did it, as I've said for the last 2 weeks, the way she said it was harsh and rude because at that point, Larsa's already in your house. But I don't think the sentiment is inaccurate. I think that the way she communicated it was not okay. I think Larsa clearly knew what she was doing by saying that. And she didn't just say, oh, you slept with a doctor. She said, you were sleeping with the whole fucking hospital of doctors. No professional woman, especially a pretty one, needs or wants anybody ever saying that shit about their professional life because that is the narrative that they have to consistently come up against when they're trying to be the best at their job. And to be constantly looked at or thought of or taken advantage of and or taken advantage of by the actual men because they think that that's some shit that you would do to get ahead is a problem. And Larsa, of all people, should understand that because essentially she is using sexuality to make money. So I just think that it is a horrible thing. She does not work in a place where that would be an acceptable situation. And for her to say it like that, Larsa knew what she was doing the same way she expects that Nicole knew what she was doing. So it was some bullshit. And if I was Nicole, I would be mad too that y'all bitches ain't saying, Larsa, that's foul as fuck. Don't say that shit about her. She's worked hard. And then we can move on. But the fact that everybody's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It is a fucking big deal. Fuck off. It took me fucking 15 years to become a doctor. Y'all are on that bullshit. I would not be happy about it at all. And I'm sorry.
Go to Married to Medicine. Girl, go to Married to Medicine. Wrong show. Sorry. Like, it's just, for me, it's equal play. It feels like it. It's like,
well, it was equal play from Larsa to her. What I'm saying is that her upset is coming from the women backing Larsa, and they were backing Larsa. They weren't team like, oh, that's shitty. Don't do that, Larsa.
Yeah.
They literally could have just been like, Larsa, that's not cool. Don't say that. We all women. Many of us are working women. You know how hard it is for chicks to like get up. That's not cool. Don't say that shit.
Ronnie said, Courtney, Nicole sounded like a fan if that was the case. Nicole is beside herself being so close to Larsa. She probably watched the Kardashians. Ronnie, get out of here. You're
what Larsa is insane, bro. Like, it's ridiculous.
I like Larsa, but that you are wild because I do not believe Nicole has an obsession with her. I think that Nicole is a judgmental part that. And I think Larsa feels that. And, like, was Larsa a known cheater? Like, did she cheat on Scottie Pippins? Was this, like, a known thing? Was she a hoe? Like, I don't know. Or just because she looks the way she looks. And then now, this year, we know she's on OnlyFans. Like, now we're calling her a hoe. Like, I don't know. Because I really don't remember the first 3 seasons. But, like, was she known? Like, was it a thing, like, that she cheated on Scottie? Or...
I mean, I don't... As far as I know, the only, like, quote unquote cheating was happening when they were falling apart. So like when she was messing with Future and then jumping with whoever else, like, and who knows what was actually a relationship versus what wasn't. So I don't think it's so much that, but I think there is again, I don't think that Nicole is trying to pretend like she wasn't looking at her a little sideways. Mm-hmm. And maybe for invalid reasons, but I also think that she was recognizing that she was looking at her a little sideways and making small attempts to not do that, but also recognizing like, I don't know this bitch. And the company you keep could mean something. So I don't know.
True. Speaking of side-eye, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I just know it's the same as like from The Prince and Wicked. Thierry or something like that. Tyree. Adriana's date.
Oh, I don't even know what his name is. I was like,
Theory. Thierry. Theory, Tyree. I don't know.
Whatever.
Weirdo. Adriana, like, I'm questioning you at this point. Like, he says, let's cheers to staying out of people's business. So, you like this girl. She says to you, hey, my friend, mentioned that you might still be married on this website. And instead of just saying, like, that's crazy, here's the paperwork, like, no. You're like, yeah, let me go meet your friends so I can come argue with a woman.
How Adriana set that shit up.
But the fact that you went and did it, sir.
100% petty betties. Like, it's a few too many petty betty men up in here. Like, that was doing the most. But
then he uses the same thing as Nicole. He says, I feel like my reputation is on the line because I work at a hospital.
Look. Here's the deal. We can get further into it because Teresa... What's her name? Sorry, she acts
Adriana?
like Teresa. No. What's oh my God, Alexia,
Oh
Lexus,
my God.
Alexia.
Yeah, she's
She acts
crazy.
like Teresa. She's Teresa. She got a bone, she drags it and will never let it go and cannot apologize. And it's like, girl, in that moment, if your actual concern was about your friend being with, because initially you want to believe that she actually cared because she knows what Adriana's been through. She don't want her out here with a married man, like parading him around thinking that he's not with somebody. And clearly Alexia has been harmed in this way as well, thinking
Right.
she was dating
It's not
somebody.
malicious.
It didn't seem that way. But when you refuse to acknowledge that
Yeah.
you are wrong and apologize for it, it wasn't never about you actually caring about your friend. You was trying to drag her ass and make sure that everybody know that she was up to some shit that maybe she shouldn't be. And that's not cool. Just say I'm sorry. It's that simple.
Yeah.
We grown.
And
You are
then
55 years old.
see, and it's funny because then I thought it was interesting. Adriana keeps telling Marisol, I would never go out with a married guy. And Marisol goes, oh, okay. It was so... okay. We got Larsa and her friend at Larsa's house recording feet content. Then we get to Alexia's lawyer lunch where Marisol, she's like me, mixing her champs with vodka.
Love it. It would be tequila.
Larsa showed up, and that was awkward. Julia walks in as Alexia was talking shit about Adriana, and then Alexia says she was disappointed that Julia didn't defend her over the guy getting aggressive and claiming she can't read. Alexia, bye. Like, you're so right when you're talking about Teresa.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. This is given
It's
Teresa.
exhausting. It's like, girl, move on. If you actually don't want to move on, like, and make it not a thing, you could have made it not a thing. You can be like, you're right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm glad he's not married because I don't want my friend fucking around with a married man.
Oh, well.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah, Alexia said she spread the rumor, but no one is apologizing to Nicole. And then, again, that's where Nicole came out and said, we're friends, but intentions matter. And again, girl, like, you have to think of your own intentions as well. And so you made that statement to everyone else, but you also got to take it in yourself. So then these poor lawyers.
Child, this is embarrassing. I had secondhand embarrassment like I was in the room.
Me
this
too.
Whole situation was
It felt like the guy knew that it was going to be crazy because the way something Alexia said to him at the end made it seem like, oh, they're friends. But the girl, I was like, oh, that poor girl. Nicole asked about defamation of character. Like, you're trying it. Again, intention. Like, you're trying it. Really?
You're still mad and definitely being petty in that moment because that was clearly not what they were there for.
Right. Like, we all know what the real reason this was here for. You know, I could see Julia coming asking a question, the question about
the adoption.
Kid adoption. But then when Nicole got upset because Alexia was like, let's leave this time for like Lisa, and Nicole got mad and got up and got her Amex and
No, get it right. Nicole got up to get her Amex because Marisol said she's paying for this time.
right.
And that's what triggered her to get up, not because she said this was time for Lisa. She said she's paying for it. She's like, oh, well, then I should be able to ask my question because I can pay you another hour. Like, it's fine. It was still disgusting. Like,
but the whole thing was, this whole thing was for really Lisa. That's how I took it. And Alexia was paying for it, and all the girls were going to be there to support her because you're married to a lawyer. Isn't she married to a lawyer?
She is married to a lawyer, which is why her question was stupid for a family attorney. And she knows that. But, making a show.
And then she said, honestly, I low-key think the girls are jealous because I have a black Amex. Girl.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody else has a black Amex.
Right. Like, I can't. Marisol says she has proof of what Lasha was saying. She brings up some weird Instagram thing, which also, again, Now it's getting messy because that means you've had this whole time and you never brought it up, Marisol. And you guys can easily have little, fan club people creating accounts and sending stuff like so.
No.
It was all just
It was
dumb.
just stupid. It's like, ugh, drop it. Like, let's talk about Lisa.
Yeah, so then Lisa brings up the Sally and Harry, which also thought Larry, Lenny telling his parents he never wants to see them again. Like, whoa, bro.
He definitely is in his midlife crisis, child. He is wilding.
Your family, like, jeez, bro. And then we leave that whole situation. We see Lisa back in the house, and Larry won't speak to her.
My
And
heart. My whole heart.
yes, but at the same time, I was more confused. Like, girl, why are you going in there? And then, okay,
He needed
fine.
money.
Right, okay. And then when he calmly explained to her, like, I do feel bad for her, but he doesn't want to, like, he doesn't fuck with you. Like, that just is what it is. He doesn't fuck with you.
It's not,
It
that's
hurts.
easy to say, but oh my God, the children are literally downstairs. I think that's why it was like the way they cut this with the son like kicking around the empty room and then he fell on the pillow. The daughter is like crying
But
and wiping
even
her.
more so because she knows that. And her whole thing, this whole thing has been to protect the children. And it's like, clearly you know something is wrong with this man. And right now, you're mad because he didn't say hi to you. He's answering your questions. But then you keep pushing this. You can't even say hi. I get it, girl. I get it. But no. Because at this point, he's embarrassed you. At this point, you should not want him to say hi to you. You should be so mad at him. And
She's not mad. Mad, anger is hurt. She's in pain.
and I get it because, girl, I can just
You literally
imagine.
are
But
watching your family like go up in flames. That's horrible.
and he said he doesn't want to be filmed and that he's trying to give her more than she's supposed to receive.
That whole part of the conversation.
So basically, he's like, I know you won't leave on your own, so I'm trying to do things proper so that you can get more than you should receive. So he's basically looking for a house that the court would say this is fair for her to go stay in. Ooh.
How are you that cold blooded to the mother of your only two children?
I mean, I'm sure he has his reason, you know what I mean? But it's crazy to me. People are wild, and this guy is wild.
People are wild. But yeah, I mean, get out, girl, because he don't love you. But damn, that is some. That's how episodes of Snapped come to be.
Right. But
I
hopefully
can't say that I wouldn't try to fuck him up. Like I can't say that I would not have like knowing how much she struggled to have kids and make this whatever. And clearly this has been over for much longer than obviously what we're seeing. But
right.
yeah, I would have to fuck him up. We would be fighting.
Yeah, I don't think she's a fighter, but I just have a lot of empathy to the whole situation because it's crazy. And, again, I know how that could have gotten under your skin, him just sitting there, because I get it. I get it. Oh, it's happened. But you can't give them that.
But it hit different when you got children.
No, I can't imagine that. Because I would have fucked up. I would have grabbed the kids at some point and we would have been out that house. I really like the logic that she has of wanting to stay in that house. Good on her. Because the way I would have got them kids out of there and just been focused on fighting for full custody. Fuck anything else. This man has a woman in here. He's disowned his parents. Like, it's just not safe. Bye. And I'll tell you when you can come see him.
I would have had to do what I needed to do to stay in my house where my children know is home. and how he cannot be there, i.e., restraining order.
Mm.
No, no, no. Do not
Uh,
put kids on the street. No, no.
Ronnie says, why is Adriana fighting this hard for Theory or whatever the fuck his name is? I just think because it's a storyline, and I feel like,
I also don't think it has anything to do with the dude.
yeah, I think it's
I think it
more
has
like,
everything to do with Alexia coming for her so hard and embarrassing her.
oh, really interesting. Okay, yeah, I do think it's part of that, but I also think it's a part of this, like, who Adriana is trying to be this season, like with the, like, I'm being like honest about my body, I'm a pop star, I have like, I'm dating, and like I'm older but I'm like living my best life, and like I feel like she's embodying that, but then at the same time it's like I'm here with a man, and I don't know, like I think it's a multitude of things.
Yeah. And she
But
and Alexia have always had like a kind of frenemy relationship, even in the old seasons. So I think it's like we friends, but we ain't friends. So we're
right.
kind of like
Mm.
always kind of.
Ronnie says, what are your thoughts on Marisol's husband, not husband? I
I don't
don't
even
know.
care.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Oh.
got a question.
Oh.
What are your thoughts on Marisol's chicken costume?
On her chicken costume.
You didn't peep the feathers and the talons?
When?
Go back and meet me back. In one of her confessionals, she is now wearing a full up to her neck white feathered chicken
Oh,
dress,
yeah.
a glove on that's like two talons
Yeah.
that she was like talking with. And I said, what?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Ronnie says, I don't think Ronnie, we need to get you on here next week. I don't think I'd want to be in the house, Courtney. Like, I understand it's the house, they know, but it's time to adjust, and I wouldn't want to step foot in the house ever again. That's how I personally would be. But I don't think, but Courtney, I feel like you're gonna say, like, it's not even about that.
It's not even about that at all. Like, and I think that the point of it for me would be I leave when I want to leave. And this is where my kids, especially young children, know and live and are happy. Fuck off. We've got enough change going on, and anybody that's dealt with young children, divorce, parents separated, all of that is a lot of change and a lot of upheaval. And unfortunately, in Lisa's situation, she don't seem like she might be the best at juggling a lot at one time. And I just think that it is horrendous that a grown ass man would try to put his children and their mother out in the street somewhere else just because he's decided that he wants a new life.
Yeah.
You want a new life, you go make your life.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure this out, and eventually we'll probably have to sell it or do something else. But in this moment, when I'm grieving and trying to figure out what I got going on, the last thing I need is to try to move.
Because not only that, but you want the house so you can party with your new girlfriend, and that's
you built the house
wild.
with him. Like, and these are your like things that you selected. And I'm not even somebody that's like attached to things. So, but I can understand you've made something a home and you now have children in that home. And eventually, I'm sure she'll get to a place where it's not good energy for her and she doesn't want to be there and she moves on. But how dare he be the one to make that decision when it needs to happen? Fuck off. Absolutely not.
Yeah, wild. I don't know. Ronnie says, nah, the energy is off because of his actions. I'd be out so quick and want a new fresh energy. F him in that house.
I think if I was single, yes, but not with
Yeah.
kids. I would not have that.
I don't know how I would feel about with kids personally, but I think with kids, I probably would lean more towards what Courtney's saying, because I'm thinking about my nephews. I'm like, just me asking my nephew, was like, you want to just come to California with me for he was like, no, horrified just at the thought of that. So like, imagine like not being home anymore, like. So okay, well, that is our week, and we got this done in an hour. Okay, and I feel like we hit all the spectrums.
Child, everything.
We talked about everything up under the rug. Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
I'm everywhere still at Stuart Starlets.
Boom. You guys can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J. Hit us up at Next Mood Swing across all social media platforms. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave us a comment about any of the topics. I would really appreciate it. I appreciate your support and watching us. And until next week, same time, same place. Peace.